Welcome students for the volume 2 demographic features of India. In the previous slides we have seen all these things, that is what is the percentage has been increased in the growth of the population, and if we compare to the other countries, what is the population of India's, that is every year we can produce one Australia country's population in India. Okay, similarly we have said that is I'm just revising here, that is combined population of the USA, Indonesia, Brazil, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and the Japan. That means almost seven countries population, that is USA, Indonesia, Brazil, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Japan. Altogether population is in India, that is 132 crores of the population. Okay, this is we have studied in the previous presentation, and now we are talking about the population growth of India per decade. So you know that decades means it is nothing but the census. Census is nothing but what we can say, that's every 10 years we are analyzing what is the population of our country. So here if you see that in the graph, okay, that is in the graph we are talking about, that is every 2 years we are just checking out, that is in 2010 maybe it's around 118 crore, and 2012 it is 122 crores. So every 2 years there's around 10 to 12 years, 2 to 3 years, 2 to 4 crores, the population has been increasing. So if you see here last 2020, that is 132 crores is there. Okay, this is how every 10 years we are doing the census, that is decades, that's the population of India. Okay, so this is what then the demographic is broadly of two types. Okay, what is that? Broadly two types. Let's see here. That is formal demographic, which is concerned with the quantitative measurement and analysis of the population change. So here in the formal demographic, here we are analyzing what is a quantitative measurement and analysis of the population change. So how much is it has been changing, whether it is changing small numbers or it is changing in the big number, that we can able to analyze with the help of the quantitative measurement. Then in the second point, that is what we are saying, social demographic, which deals with the social, economic, and the political aspects of the population. So here we are just analyzing what is the social demographic, which deals with the social, economic, and political aspects of the population. So how it is impacting to increase in the population. Okay, then in the third point, that is since before the independence, India has conducted a 10 yearly decennial census. So far, seven decennial census has been conducted since 1951, and the most recent one is being 2011. So the census, the analysis of the population, it has been started in the year 1951. Okay, it has been introduced in the year 1951, and now presently we have done the census, that is 2011. So almost seven decades has been done. So we have said that is now presently around 132 crore population is there. Okay, then similarly if you check about the fourth point, that is the demographic data collected in the essential for the planning and the implementation of the state policies for economical development and the public welfare. So here we are analyzing what is the data is there for the economic development, and what is the data is there for the population. So based on that we can able to analyze whether our country is increasing in the GDP or decreasing in the GDP. Okay, let's see, that is the second, that is the theories of the population. That is the population increases at much faster rate than the means of the subsistence. See here, so our population has been increasing like anything. Okay, so if you check it out here, that the population rises in the geometric progression. Right. Okay, that's a 2 4 6 16 32, but there's a faster rate, that's the means of the human subsistence. But similarly, that is the agriculture. You know that whatever the profession you are, maybe we are dividing into the three types of the profession. There's a primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary is basically we are considering as the agriculture, and secondary we are considering as an industrial. Okay, and the territory is considering as a service sector. So whatever the secondary and territory is there or not, but we required, that is a agriculture, that is a basic, that is a primary sector. So population is increasing like 246 248 1632, that is a geometric progression, but agriculture production is growing in the arithmetic progression, that is a 2 4 6 8 10. See here, as it population is rising by the geometric progression, but in the agriculture production we are seeing that the arithmetic progression. Okay, this is how the difference is there. A lot of differences is there. The population growth is increasing, but our resource, our sources is increasing like very slowly. So the prosperity can be achieved by the controlling growth of the population through preventive checks. Okay, the prosperity can be achieved by the controlling growth of the population through preventive checks. See, if you want to control the population, there's a preventive checks will be there. That is postponing the marriages. See, you know that earlier why the population has been increasing, because you know that there are child marriages will be there. So that's the reason the population has been increasing. But now you know that how to control the population. That's postponing the marriages. Okay, if you get the married at the age of, yes, government is saying that is for the female, that's the 21 year is the right age for the marriage, and the for the men's it is saying that is a so men's for 21 and the women's for the 18. But you know that at the early age, if you married, then definitely there is a huge problem for the population. So that's the reason try to postpone the marriages. Then sexual and the self discipline. So this is also very much important. That's what I have said. As earlier, they don't have the work. Okay, they don't have the profession. So that's the reason for the entertainment they used to do the sexual for the reproduction. But now you know that there are various preventive measures will be there. Okay, so where they need to use those preventive measures and try to avoid the population. So this is very much important. And the self discipline, as we have said. So if we are very disciplined, then definitely this can't help. Okay, so that's the reason each, whether the men or the women, we should be very disciplined here. And you know that celibacy is nothing but just that is escaping from that particular moment. That is what we are saying, the celibacy. So the preventive checks should taken to control the growth of the population, and positive checks, that's etc. And the positive checks through the food shortage and the diseases will be there. So this is how it is impacting for the theories of the population. Okay, then density, as I have said, that is a density of the population is nothing but there is a total population divided by the area. That is the density of the population calculated as a ratio of the number of persons per square kilometer of that land area. So the term density of the population implies the average number of the person living per square kilometer, and in other words, density of the population refers to the average number of persons living per square kilometer within the territory of the country. Then the total area of is that 29,73,190 kilometer, but if you convert it into the miles, that is 11,47,000. So density of the population is calculated as the total population divided by total area. So if you see the glimpse data about the demographic, so here we can say that is a population, as we have said, 2020, that is 132 crore of the population, and the density we have already discussed earlier, that is only we have 2.4% of the area is there compared to the population, that is 464 people is living per square kilometer. Then in that 132 crore of the population, the total male will be 68.46 crores and female will be 72.2 crores. Okay, and if we talk about the sex ratio, that is 1.0% men will be there, that is 7 crore, and 6 crore is women will be there. So here we can able to identify what is the sex ratios will be there. That is per 1,000 men we are converting into the women's, right? So 7 crores men will be there, in that 6.5 crores women will be there. So that means definitely there's a shortage for the woman is there for the each man. Then the growth rate, as we have discussed earlier, that is a 1.18%, that is 1.19% is there for the growth rate of the population. Okay, so that is the total population is 18% growth is there. So if you check about the literacy rate, that is the education, that is 74% is the education is there, and the birth rate is 18.2%, that is per 1,000 population 18.2 birth is there, and similarly for the death, that is a 7.3. So just imagine there is a birth rate is 18% and death rate is 7%. So that's the reason the population has been increasing, that is becoming abundant for the nation. Then life expectancy, as we have already said, there is a 69.7 years. So what do you mean by this life expectancy? There is a per person's life age, that is a age for the person, that is the average. If we calculate, that is a 69.7% will be there. Okay, at the age of 69.7 years the person will die. Then fertility rate, that is a 2.25 children born, okay, per woman. Okay, per woman 2.25 children are taking the birth. That is what you can say the fertility rate. Then if you take about the infant mortality rate, that is per thousand live births, that is 29.94 deaths will be there. That is infant means that's a kids, so immediately die after the birth. That is what we can say, that the infant mortality rates will be there. Okay, then if you take about the territory wise population, okay, in within the state, okay, that is within the country, okay, that is the top population is, that's what we have said in the earlier, that's the UP and Maharashtra. Okay, so both population together we can give the number, that is the American population. That is what we can say, the top populations are there. Okay, roughly if we take, that's the UP's population is 100 19.98 crores is there, and Maharashtra 11.2 crores is there. Okay, and if you take Bihar 104, West Bengal, that is a 91%, and Madhya Pradesh, that is 72. So I have just taken only top 5 states, which is the highest percentage will be there for the population. So here in this particular chart we can able to analyze the rural population how much, urban population how much, and what is the area of that each and every state. So here you can able to identify the density of that particular state. Okay, that's what we have given here. Okay, then the sex ratio also, sex ratio, see here, per 1,000 men, okay, there is a 912 women will be there. So just imagine how much a deficiency is here for the females in UP, there's a Uttar Pradesh. Okay, and if you take the Maharashtra, yes, 929 women are there for 1,000 men. Just imagine what is the difference here. Okay, but Madhya Pradesh, that is a 931, and West Bengal, yes, if you compare to the all 5 state, okay, if you take the sex ratio, and West Bengal is a better one, because 953 females are there for the 1,000 men, hardly 47 deficit will be there. Okay, so this is what about the territory wise, that is a state wise population I have given here. Okay, similarly if you take here, we have said that is the top is UP, that is if you convert it into the percentage, so UP is a 16% is contributing to the India for the population, and second largest is 9% for the Maharashtra. So if you take the least one, I think if I'm not wrong, that is a Uttarakhand. Okay, Uttarakhand, that is a 1% is contributing for the India's population. 1% for the Uttarakhand and Jammu Kashmir, Delhi. Okay, these 3 states are contributing just 1% for the population, right? So this is based on the graphical design. So here you can able to understand how much population is contributing to the India for each and every state, that is a territory wise. Okay, if you take for the top or bottom 5 cities in the India by the population, as we have said in the earlier, that is overall population, there is a Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad and Ahmedabad. That is the top city is contributing the population, and for the least city, there is the least population is, there is a Gangotri, Kedarnath, Kirtinagar, okay, Nandaprayag and Devaprayag. So here if you see here 110, 612, okay, 1500 crores, 1600, very least population is there in this particular city. Okay, so this is the top and this is a least city or the least population, and the top populations will be there. Okay, then if we take the literacy rate, that's the education rate in each and every state, that is top literacy rate, that is we all know that Kerala is a top, okay, in India. That is a 94% literacy rate will be there, and next to that there is a Lakshadweep, that is a 91.8%, and Mizoram 91.3%, and Goa 88.7, and Tripura is 87.2. This is what I am talking about, the top literacy rate by the states. If we take the lowest literacy rate, just imagine that is we have said the top 94 and the least will be 61.8%. That means just more than the 50%. Okay, just one step ahead from the 50%. Okay, Bihar is the least literacy rate. Okay, Bihar is very least literacy rate, that is just 61.8. I'm just repeating, literacy is nothing but the educated people. So in the Bihar, only 61.8% people are educated. Arunachal Pradesh, that is 65.38, Rajasthan 66.11, Jharkhand 66.41, Andhra Pradesh 67.02%. So here again I am telling you, this is the top literacy rate and this is the lowest literacy rates are there. Okay, so then next slide. Okay, if we take this India's demographic 2019, actually it should be converted into the 19. Okay, this will be taken in the I'll just explain in the next class. Okay, thank you guys, hope you have understood this all literacy rate and the population rate and all. So in the next presentation we'll see it in the next class. Thank you.